Is it going to be a side hustle or a side hassle? I've cleaned out many of my friends and family's refrigerators.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
You're on to something.
I'm loving this. I'm loving it.
I did that for free. Nobody ever paid me.
That was not really a side hustle.
Why is it low?
What's wrong with
disagree?
you?
My house is the best.
You're wrong.
Hi, y'all. Welcome to Hustle Humbly. It's Alyssa and Katie, and we are two top producing realtors in the Baton Rouge market.
We work for two different companies where we should be competitors, but we have chosen community over competition.
The goal of our podcast is to encourage you to find your own way in business.
So stop comparing yourself and start embracing your strengths.
Hi, Alyssa.
Hey, Katie.
Welcome. It's episode 198, and today we're talking about real estate specific side hustles and the difference between being full-time and part-time in your business.
Okay, great.
Great. Are you so excited?
I'm so excited.
You have been scrolling away from the post you were reading off of a Facebook group.
Yeah.
And before you started that, we had typed out a extensive list of side hustles. So here's the good news, everyone. There's no shortage of things you can do to make money, whether they are closely related to real estate or real estate adjacent. I would like to start off by saying, as the market has softened, gotten a little more challenging, we've had so many new agents flood into the profession. There's going to be people who aren't making money.
Yes, we've been getting some emails from those that are struggling.
Right. And a lot of people need to make some money. Some money, right?
Yes.
So I just want everyone to know that this is meant to be helpful.
Yeah.
And maybe a good way to spark an idea of something you can do in a slow season to help you get a little bit of money coming in. Remember, at the peak in 2022, there were 1.6 million realtors in the United States.
Okay.
Already in 2023, we have lost 32,000.
Wow.
So we're on the down. Like, people are going to start falling out of the business, but we don't want that to be you. So if there's a way that maybe a side hustle can get you through a season, I think that's what my hope is, that we can give you an idea of how to make a little cash and keep working at your business and get through it.
Yeah. And when we were brainstorming some of these ideas and doing some research, we wanted to keep it to where it could still maybe even benefit your real estate business.
Right. I think we've said this on the podcast many times, but what you focus on grows. So if you become like overly invested in a side hustle that is far from real estate, let's just say you're selling cars. I don't know, like,
Right.
or selling you're working at a shoe store. I don't know. If it's nowhere near real estate, the more time you spend in that, the more time you'll spend in that.
Correct.
So you're not going to be like, oh, you want to be a realtor that does something real estatey,
Yeah.
right?
We also talked about, is it going to be a side hustle or a side hassle?
It might be a side hassle.
Right.
Yeah, don't invest then in something that has a lot of upfront cost that is going to require you to go to a bunch of monthly meetings. Like, we're not looking to get another job.
No.
Oh, but certainly not another full-time job.
No.
We're looking for a small part-time gig or something that is actually, like, what they call it now, the gig economy. A lot of, like, I guess millennials and younger will do like a job at a time, like just like being an Uber driver, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that I would recommend being an Uber driver as your side hustle to real estate. Yes, it is a cash injection, but it is not real estate adjacent.
You could do it at nighttime, though.
You could, but it might become a side hassle.
Right. It could. Because then you're too sleepy in the day to do real estate.
It could quickly become a side hassle. And my main note that I wanted to say before we go through all the list is that you don't want to let your side gig become your main gig, your main focus, and the only thing that you talk about. Let's just say you decided you were going to, I don't know, sell a supplement.
Okay.
Okay. I don't recommend that because it's not real estate adjacent, but let's say that's what you're doing.
Okay.
And then you post all of your posts on social media, and every time you talk to someone, it's all about this supplement. You're so excited that you're selling the supplement. Who's going to remember that you sell real estate?
Right.
They're not.
So I had an agent in our marketplace who had started selling something similar. Let's call it a supplement.
Okay.
And someone messaged me on the side and was like, "Are they struggling in real estate?"
That's exactly the vibe we do not want to give out.
Correct. Because then they're like, okay, they're on their way out.
Right. Or maybe they're not good enough to make it. And so I don't want to use an agent that's not good enough to make it.
Right.
As a consumer,
Mm-hmm.
this is what we're thinking.
And it was a consumer that messaged me.
Yeah.
So it's like,
You really have to be careful what messages you're putting out there.
And I never even thought that just because I knew the truth.
Right. You weren't worried about it.
But then hearing from like a neutral third party,
You're like, ooh, wait.
That's what they thought. That's
You
what they instantly
always
went
have-
to.
Because you're a business and everything you do is advertising your business, you
Mhm.
have to look at your overall how the world sees you. And that could be in a social media post, but it could also be how do you talk to people when you see them?
Mhm.
If they're like, how are you doing? And you're like, oh, great. Let me tell you about this thing I'm selling. And it's not real estate. They're not going to remember you sell real estate as your primary job.
Right.
Okay. Do you want to start the list or what are we going to do? Because it's so long.
I know. I feel like we should start the list.
Okay, let's go. Real estate adjacent, very close, that could also become a part of your real estate business, I think would be a good place to start.
Okay.
So property management,
Mhm.
whether it's a rental, Airbnb style, just doing property management is a lot of agents who are full-time and producing don't want to do that or don't have the time to do that if they're doing a lot of sales transactions.
Mhm.
That's a great place to start that you could leave in your business,
Mhm.
right? Or you could take rental leads from other agents in your office who don't want to work a rental lead or take a rental listing. I mean, so I think all of that would be around your property management. The next ones, my favorite, staging. Either be a stager or do a staging consult. If you don't have the startup funds to go get furniture and fully stage a vacant house, obviously not. But why couldn't you, if that's in your skill set, offer staging consults to other agents who have listings? Oh, I'll come in, or even send me pictures and I'll give a staging consult via email. Cheap, $100, whatever.
Yeah, we have an agent in our office that has been super helpful with staging consults. And if you're an agent that feels uncomfortable telling sellers what to do to get their house ready,
Right.
or you don't have an eye for it, she actually said she is hired more by male agents.
That makes sense.
Because they were like, I don't know.
well,
Like,
all looks good
I
to
don't know.
me.
It looks fine. How do I know to fluff the pillow?
Right.
And so she goes and for $175 walks through and
Is
suggests
that a
what to
time
do
commitment or just per house? It's $175
per house.
Okay, so
It's like an hour
the
consult.
professional stager that I used a lot in the past would do a staging consult. I don't know if this is still her price, but it was a 2-hour consult for $250.
2 hours is a long time.
Yeah, you're really getting into the nitty gritty.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're really like paint color, maybe where exactly to move the furniture. It's not like a breeze by. It's very specific.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, staging. So property management staging. I think next would be any type of assisting to another agent. So an assistant, a showing agent, any kind of admin, like in your office, right? Where you're, especially if you're new, you'd be learning.
Right. So when our office got their new technology platform a few years ago, I mean, a lot of the agents in the office were struggling with it.
Yeah.
I helped a few, but eventually the office had to hire someone
Yeah.
to say, okay, let's sit down individually and get all your people set up.
Mhm.
But setting up a new system or inputting people into a database.
Right.
Anything.
Computer work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that. I think that a lot of admins, this makes me laugh, at our office, historically, they always, even if they start out as just an admin, just a receptionist, just a whatever office assistant, they always end up with their license because they're like, well, this looks like fun, or look at these checks coming through here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I just think that's funny.
Well, then they're around it and they see it and they're picking
right.
up on how we talk and what
Mhm.
things happen and certain scenarios that come up.
Yeah.
So it just kind of falls
Yeah.
into place. But it goes to show because you were in that environment expanded.
Right.
You didn't
You did more of
leave the
that.
real estate
Don't
environment.
try not to leave the real
I think we have
estate
that on the
environment.
list. Being a front desk
Yeah.
worker at your office,
Yep.
being the one that answers the phone,
Yeah.
or if someone's dropping off a deposit check, to do what you have to do with it.
Right.
Just being able to learn the questions that people ask on the phone.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. You'll become comfortable.
Mhm.
Love that. Back to the staging-ish, just design in general. So what about for new homeowners who are like, I don't know where to put my furniture, or I don't know where to hang these paintings. I don't want to hang up these curtains. There's a lot of things associated with moving
Mhm.
that I think are design related and would be fun and an easy way to make, a few bucks pretty quick.
I love to clean out refrigerators.
Do you?
I do.
Well, you could offer that. People would totally pay.
Well, now it just wouldn't be a smart time move.
No,
you know,
not you're right, but like someone else who wants to clean out, or you think you're the only one?
I've cleaned out many of my friends and family's refrigerators.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good one though. Okay, but you know what? That goes along with home organizing.
Okay. Yes.
I think home organizing is a great side hustle for a real estate agent. You are going to be in homes that are either maybe they are about to move or just moved. Maybe they will move in the future because they realize they don't have enough room for all of their stuff. But home organizing is a great one.
You could just be the pantry person.
Yeah.
Like all you do is pantries.
Yep.
Or the refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
Or organize your Tupperware drawer.
Yeah.
Something
Right.
that would just be helpful.
Uh-huh.
You got that card in the mail here recently of the new side hustle that I thought was so cool. I mean, it was a real business.
It was
but
a real business.
Yes, it wasn't a side hustle, but it was
that we know of. I don't know. That guy could have been an engineer for all we know.
Yeah. All they do is they come to your house and clean your patio furniture cushions and your grill.
It was
Genius.
It wasn't like we'll pressure wash your house. You get those all the time. This was the patio cushions and the grill. And
That's
I was
it.
like, wait a minute.
You're on to
I
something.
am loving this. Loving it. And they just sent like an EDDM, like an every door direct mail. So they picked a mail route and sent it. So like maybe they wanted to work in the same area.
Mm-hmm.
Just sent it to a whole mail route.
Brilliant.
It was a really smart idea. Okay. So you could start any type of side hustle with a one mailer situation.
Yeah.
If you hit it seasonally right, like when people need their flower beds cleaned out, or
well, we see so many during Christmas with I'll come decorate your Christmas tree.
right, hang your lights.
I'll make you a wreath.
There's so many.
So
many. Okay, let's go back to in the real estate process. If you are a photographer, you could also do real estate photos. You could do photo editing if people needed that. You could take people's photos and make them into social media content for them. Anything in the photo realm. And then I had also videographer. So maybe you want to walk through, take videos of listings or whatever, video.
Realtor headshots.
Realtor headshots would be good.
Mm-hmm.
Or branding photos.
Yes.
There's a lot of photography being done in real estate.
You could even reach out to some of the builders and see if you could use some of their model homes for some branding photo shoots.
Right. And
That's
if
a
you
good
need
idea.
practice for like a portfolio of such, you can contact a builder and be like, hey, can I shoot a video of your new house for free? I'll give it to you. I'm just trying to get some content for my
website.
business.
Yeah, that's
whatever.
great.
Okay. I also had, in that vein, social media manager.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some agents who are great at this. They do their social media. They have extra time. They run the social media of maybe another business or maybe another agent. So content creation, social media manager.
We have a few agents in our marketplace that teach, their social media classes. But what I like about that is that everybody has a different strategy. So even if you took all of their classes, they're all so different.
Right. Mm-hmm. Do you have any on your list? Because I have lots more.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
So whenever I was looking in some of the national realtor Facebook groups, I was surprised, and we even have an agent in our market who did this, but I just didn't realize how many people did it nationwide.
What is it?
Created a vendor platform. kind of like a Angie's List
Oh,
or
of their own.
their own for their
Mhm.
specific city or
Okay.
their specific
How do
marketplace.
you make money off of that
The vendors pay
to be on the
to
list?
be on the list, like a monthly fee to be on the list.
Mm-hmm.
But there were so many people that have created some sort of website or app or planner or CRM or something that they created that works for them.
That they were using in their
that they were
business.
using that they just made for themselves.
Well, that's a
So
good
they started
point.
selling it.
You could look at your whole business and be like, what do I use and love that I created myself?
hmm
What could I there's an agent in our market that does closing gifts, like and at Christmas they do like ornaments that are like established 2022, and it would be like a house ornament with a date, and you can buy it for all your buyers from that year.
hmm
And they sell out.
Yeah.
They sell out. Um, that maybe goes into this one, like an a la carte services situation. So maybe it's like making flyers or putting out signs in lock boxes or going to a termite inspection, measuring rooms, room dimensions, completing MLS sheets, closing gift prep, like photo books. Like if you wanted someone to order your photo book or do a basket or handwrite letters for your, sphere or stuff envelopes or spruce up your top 10 list or listing info or,
I feel like with Canva, you could make the cutest little a la carte menu of services that you would offer to realtors
yeah,
while
and you
you're
could just offer it
new or
to your
slow.
office, to your own office to
Right.
start with. Be like, hey, y'all, I have some extra time. These are the services I'm offering right now.
hmm
Right? Like it doesn't have to be like this big embarrassing thing where we're going to advertise it at the board of realtors for everyone to see. Oh, well, Katie must not be getting any real estate clients because she's doing random a la carte services.
But I'll say anytime we have a new agent that's going around saying, hey, let me know if there's anything I can do for you. Blah,
you
blah.
always have something.
Well, I'm always like, whenever I need to refer something to someone, I'm like, that person was there
Yeah.
looking to
To
work.
do that.
They want to work.
Oh, right. When you have a
They
real
were
estate
in the office.
client.
Yeah, if I have like a lease that I don't want to handle or a
Mhm.
new lead that I don't know at all, I
Mhm.
can say, you know what? That person was working really hard.
I'll send them this
Yeah.
referral. Yeah. Right. That's why you want to keep your side hustle real estate adjacent.
hmm
Or exactly real estate. What about other skills you might have, like graphic design or description writing we had,
Oh, yeah.
but like copywriting. So I don't know if AI will replace you because I'm not gonna lie, I sure did do a description the other day with the Chat GPT.
It was
But
good.
it was so good. Now I did inform it very well.
You did. You gave it a lot of
I
details.
gave it the whole top 10 list that my
but it made
seller
it
did.
flow.
Sounded great. Point being, if you're good at graphic design, copywriting, those are all services that you could offer to other agents.
hmm
Okay. Do you have anything?
Pet sitting.
I did not have that. I don't know if, I guess you're at somebody's home.
Yeah. And then it's something that you can do like on your lunch break. You go let the dogs out. And
yeah.
it's not like,
Something that people are always looking for.
yes.
It would be so easy. You could pet sit up a storm in my neighborhood. They're always looking.
hmm
Okay.
Especially if you focus on your area,
Mm-hmm.
your neighborhood.
Right. To where you're like here in the neighborhood.
There's a realtor in New Orleans who rescues dogs from shelters,
Okay.
and he uses them a lot in his marketing
Mm-hmm.
and in his photos and on his social media.
Okay.
But he gets a lot of business from the work. I mean, it's a
That's
volunteer.
volunteer work.
It's volunteer.
Right.
But you could find something like that where if you were making money as a pet sitter, you could still use
Yeah.
a lot of that as kind of like a co-branding as something that you're passionate about.
I think so. It's probably a little easier to get taken seriously if it's a volunteer gig more than a side hustle gig, but there is a way to marry it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, virtual assistant would kind of go into the line of, admin assistant, but there are people who are simply virtual assistants, and that opens up the whole world to you.
Yeah.
You don't have to find an agent in your office that needs help. It could be anyone.
Anywhere around the country.
There are lots of people in our market and other markets that do virtual assistants that are specifically TCs, so transaction coordinators,
Mhm.
and that would be a great learning experience.
Yeah, you would learn a lot from doing that, especially as a new
A
agent.
ton. Here's one that is super real estate related: house measuring.
Oh yeah. So someone recently just made the cutest flyer And it was kind of like a la carte measuring. They could do the whole thing. They could give you just the living area. They could give you just the total. They could draw the floor plan. Or you know how like you get an appraisal and there's no walls?
Mm-hmm.
They could do the whole thing with room measurements. It was like, what do you want? How do you want me to measure? I'll
I
measure
love
it
that.
for you. Yeah.
That's good. Do you remember any of the prices?
So I think that the whole house measuring to get like living and total was $125. And then it was an extra $25 if you wanted all the room dimensions
That's
in
not
there.
bad.
It wasn't bad. And then we had someone that offered sort of like a listing package.
Ooh.
So they would go take your photos, they were a photographer,
Okay.
and do your MLS input sheet.
Okay.
Now in my office, we have a sheet.
Right.
And then the staff can put it in.
Okay.
But, instead of just inputting the listing online.
Okay.
So, and then that would include all the information you needed, the tax information that you have to look up, the parcel numbers, the interior dimension, everything that you would need on the input sheet.
I like that.
And so it was basically the photos and the input sheet.
All the legwork.
And that was like $300, I think. So, but then it's like you're done.
Right. I mean, it depends on what your time is worth and how long was that.
And you could add, like, if you wanted a walkthrough
think
video.
about this. What if you were just out of town? They could do all that.
That'd be
it'd be
great,
worth $300.
Yeah,
right?
if it was like a one-time thing.
Because you weren't having to refer out the business completely.
So helpful.
Yeah. Oh, I like that one.
Hey, Alyssa.
Hey, Katie.
What do we mention almost every episode?
Email templates.
You're right, we sure do. And after every time we mention an email template, do you know what we get?
Emails asking if they can have copies of the email template.
Can you send me a copy of that template? I have never had one like that. That sounds great. And you know what the good news is?
What?
You can get all of our email templates from our course, Email Templates 101. Tell the people about it.
Our course has all of the email templates you would need to send to your buyers and your sellers and your clients that are buying and selling at the same time.
Exactly.
To get through every step of the transaction and giving them information that they need for where they are in the transaction.
It's great because you never forget to tell them something.
Yes, and we've already done all the work for you.
Yeah.
We wrote them and you can personalize them.
Yes.
And just feel organized knowing that you have all the information where it needs to be.
And if you purchase Email Templates 101, you do get lifetime access. So occasionally we like to go in and make updates based on the market or if we find a new best practice and we put that right into the template and you get that updated straight away.
It just goes straight to your course?
Yep. Right, it's just there.
It's
It's
just
already in
there.
there.
It's just
already
there.
in there. You don't even have to worry about it. We'll
That's
send
wonderful.
you an email and we'll say updated.
That's great. Where can they find these email templates?
You can find the email templates at emailtemplates101.com.
Emailtemplates101.com.
Yes, head over for reviews and all of the specifics.
Wonderful.
Okay, enjoy.
Okay, you already did the setting up tech for tech challenged agents. We did transaction management. That's pretty common. How about like around the house, handyman?
Mm-hmm.
I think we've had several come through our office that were handy men and realtors, and they would do like, give us your whole inspection and we'll tell you like what it would cost to get all these things done.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of space and your clients need a handyman before they sell, after they buy, during inspection. There's a lot of opportunity there. You would probably be so busy as a handyman,
So busy.
you'd have to be careful if that became your full-time job
Oh, yeah.
because it'd be easy.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you can be super niche too. I hang blinds.
Yes.
That's it. I hang art.
I know someone that's a picture hanger.
There you go.
That's all they do. They measure, they make sure it is a nice clean hole. It is where it should be the first time.
Right.
That's all they do.
That's it. Oh, so good. Okay, house cleaner.
Mm.
You told me to mention.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We have 2 agents so one agent in my company, but not in my city. So before she was a realtor, she cleaned houses and
Okay.
she had for her whole life and, have felt like she was kind of at the most that she could do and wanted to do more for her family. And so she got her real estate license and was telling her clients as she was exiting the business. But that's where a lot of them came from.
Love that.
And I thought that was so interesting.
Yeah.
And then I had a few years ago, I had an agent friend message me and say she was kind of struggling. She was a single mom. She was like, if you ever have a listing that you need cleaned, after they move out or something
Mhm.
like that, or before they move in, like, please let me know. I'll do a move in, move out clean.
I love that.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
Yeah, because you're not committing to like a weekly cleaning for the same person.
Right.
It's a side hustle.
It's for a
You could do
specific
it.
purpose.
You could turn it on just like your Uber. I'm on the clock. I'm
Mhm.
not. Like,
Mhm.
okay, I like that. What about runner?
Oh, yeah.
Just
Errands.
gotta get things where they gotta go, right? And then I had CMAs for money. Like, there are people who need CMAs on the regular. Lenders who do a lot of refis, which I know aren't very popular right now, but they'll come back.
Mhm.
The general public, sometimes they just want to know how much their house is worth, but they don't plan to sell it. Maybe they need to know it for some other reason. What about like a divorce attorney? They need CMAs all the time.
Successions.
Yeah, so exactly. So there's all these people in the community who need market reports, and it might be easy to get, a one attorney, like one divorce attorney who's like, "Oh, sure, I'll throw you $25 per. I'm going to need 3 a week or whatever,
It could also be a good time to look into seeing what you need to do to be certified to list foreclosures for certain banks and things like
Yeah.
that. Like getting some extra certifications that would allow you to do some things while you're getting started.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about doing those awful BMAs for agents who do a lot of relo?
Ugh,
They're terrible, but
they're
you
so
know what?
long.
I'd have paid someone to do mine for me.
Oh, yeah.
Good money.
Yes.
Real good money.
Mhm.
Because I didn't want to do that ever again. And you don't have a choice. Like,
Right.
that was my
You have to
client
do
from
it.
before. They were relo. I had to do it. It wasn't like optional.
Or you just lose them all together.
Yeah. Okay. What about did we find out what a property tax appeal is?
No.
In a lot of these lists, we found property tax appeals.
It came up several times.
So, y'all, if you know what it is,
go Google it.
go do that. I don't
Mhm.
know what that is. Okay, and then here's one that kind of goes with what are you doing in your business? Maybe how can you sell that? Sell templates like on Etsy. So maybe it's a home prep checklist. Maybe it's like get ready for showings. Maybe it's a my weekly check, whatever. I don't know. They sell printables
Anything
for everything.
on Etsy.
It literally could be open house sign-ins. It could be birthday party shenanigans, anything.
Mhm.
Literally anything.
Mm.
Packing lists for this place, that place. How to prep for your home before you list.
Yeah.
Okay. We also had all the lists said remote notary.
That came up a good
A
bit.
lot.
Yes.
A lot.
Getting your notary license.
I think
The
you're
license,
licensed in Louisiana.
is not the easiest thing,
No,
but I
so-
guess you could get it.
but
and-
then you charge per
right transaction.
it would be an adjacent.
Yeah.
It would be a gig that would be like in the real estate field.
Mhm.
But remote notary, and then this one was funny to me. Exam tutoring. So people who are getting into the business, like if you just finished and you had notes or like
Oh, yeah, flashcards.
yeah, whatever.
I love
Some
flashcards.
exam tutoring that was on the list. Did you ever have a side hustle while you were in real estate?
Just bartending in the beginning.
beginning.
Yeah, until I let it go.
Okay, and what about cleaning out people's emails?
I did that for free. Nobody ever paid me.
That was not really a side hustle.
They
So
would
there
just
were-
come to me and
So
ask
the
for help.
the fridges and the emails
I just love
all
to
for
do
free.
it.
Mm,
Yeah.
you probably could have charged for that.
I know.
You probably could have.
Before kids, I had all the time in the world and was just doing all these things for free.
I have the weirdest side hustle story ever.
Oh.
This was not while I was in real estate, but here's a weird thing. When I was in college, I had a part-time job in a accounting office of a commercial real estate office.
Oh.
So it was a commercial real estate office. They rented office space and owned and rented office space. And I worked in the accounting department, like balancing a bajillion bank statements every month. It was mind-numbing.
Mm.
But they had a interior designer on staff that was in the office next door to me who did all the space planning for, when you get office space, they have to reconfigure it all the
Right,
time,
yeah.
right? So she did a lot of renovating office spaces as they were leased out.
Okay.
She hated paying she was a single mom. She hated paying her own bills. She paid me
What?
like $50 a month to literally take her stack of bills. Y'all, it was 2000, not even, it was 1998. Probably 1995 actually. She would give me her paper bills and her checkbook. She would sign a bunch of checks. Actually, she wouldn't even sign them. I would write in the who it was to, how much, what it was for, paper clip it to the paper bill. She would sign it. I would mail it.
Oh, wow.
I did her accounts payable for her personal life.
This is so funny.
And I was like, sure, I don't mind. This was a great, like, little extra
Yeah.
cash for me.
Now, back in the beginning, when I was first getting my real estate license, I had my appraiser's license first.
Okay.
I was helping my dad
Mm-hmm.
after, because his dad, my grandpa, had passed away and they were business partners.
Right. Okay.
So I had gotten my real estate license or my appraiser's license to help him.
Okay.
But I just hated it. I wasn't, you have to be so detail oriented and really have that sort of engineer measuring.
Be amazed.
It just wasn't my thing,
Mhm.
but I learned a lot and
Yeah.
I did it until I didn't anymore
Mhm.
and became a realtor
You're
full
like,
time.
Dad, don't make me.
Yeah, I don't want to do it. But it was nice because the CE usually counted for both.
Oh.
Usually they
okay.
overlapped.
How long did you have your appraiser's license?
2 years.
That's not very long.
No.
Because don't you have to apprentice for like 3 years before
Yeah,
you
I
can
was
go
still
your
in
own?
that stage.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I was like,
you were a helper.
we don't need to do this anymore.
Yeah.
This is not my future.
Right. You were like, well, how did you do this?
Mm-hmm.
Over and over and over and over and over again.
Over and over.
It's a thankless job.
It is. And you don't really talk to people. You're on the
No.
computer.
The only time you talk to them is when they're mad.
Yeah. Why is it low?
What's
you
wrong with
disagree?
you?
My house is the best.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to picture like any agents that I know who like have a good side hustle gig. But the funny thing when I was reading this other article was like, you may find that your side hustle does get you excited, does become the thing that you spend all your time doing. Maybe it would be like, for instance, my broker is a realtor, right? She had a brokerage to be a realtor, but she also loved design and she added in the design part of her business. And now she has so much design business that she doesn't really sell a lot of real estate because her side hustle became like her
The main thing.
hustle, right?
Yeah.
Or they're just so well married that you could do both seamlessly,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you could easily be a stager and a realtor at the same time.
Right.
It's not hard.
One I had was get certified to teach CE.
Oh, do they pay
That's
you for
something
that?
I would do.
Yeah. Do they pay you for
They
that?
do. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, then I like that.
Yeah. And then you're staying sharp on your education.
Mhm.
And kind of like how I said before, the podcast kind of motivates me to keep my skills sharp.
Yeah.
Like same thing with CE.
Yeah, that makes sense. Any other side hustles?
Yes.
Oh, let me hear them.
Professional mermaid. It was in the list. There is a
Wait.
girl. I had to write it down.
Where is she, in Florida?
Texas.
Wait, what?
Yeah, she's in Texas and she's a professional mermaid.
Can I get more?
Kids' birthday parties.
All right, this is not real estate adjacent, except unless you're selling the sea.
It's not, but it was in the realtors group, so I had to
What?
write it down because I
Professional
thought it was
mermaid.
funny.
Okay, any others?
Someone said that they DJ, and they have gotten so many contacts from that.
I can't even say it out loud.
I know.
But there is a very prominent agent in our market who was a DJ. And so every time like that correlation comes up, I think of his DJ name and it just makes me laugh.
Oh, you'll have to tell me after.
After.
That's so funny.
Okay, but you could DJ.
You could DJ. I mean, if it puts you in front of a lot of people where they're having fun.
Right, you could do event planning.
Yeah.
Or any kind of like personal shopping.
Well, I found that when I was bartending, unless they were just really snooty and didn't want a realtor that was also bartending, which happened, people wanted a full-time agent, but people were so relaxed and they're having fun and they're being nice. And
You got clients
I
there?
did.
Yeah.
I did.
You would get your barista clients now.
Yes, I
From-
would become a barista.
From a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Or maybe it hasn't come out yet. Either way.
Yeah, it's coming.
No, I think they've heard it.
Mhm.
But you would be a barista.
Mhm.
Meet the people.
There's just so many things that you could do if you were struggling that would keep you as a reputable agent still.
Right. Your reputation during this phase is very important.
I would say so.
And just because you are measuring houses for money or being a runner or a handyman doesn't mean that you have to put that out into the world in any other way other than telling a few people who are going to use you.
Yeah, maybe just target like 10 very busy agents that you
Right.
know.
Like you just start somewhere.
Mhm.
But a service is the best way to do something and make quick money that you don't have startup costs for.
Right.
Because you already have all the costs of being an agent already on your shoulders.
Mhm.
So we don't want to add more cost.
I think the biggest thing too is to really look at how much money would this make me?
Yeah.
Like, don't get distracted by the dollars
Mm-hmm.
when you could be making thousands of dollars.
Right.
What did you say?
Don't trip over $1 to pick up a dime.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't ignore your real estate business so that you can go clean a house for $100.
Correct.
That would be a bad choice.
Like maybe if you took a certain amount of time and hand wrote cards or went to coffee.
How are you using the equivalent amount of time to grow your real estate business?
Yes, because that's where the real money is. These are just things that if you were on the verge of having to get out of the business, these are things that could maybe motivate you and save you and get you by until you got your first couple closings. One of my favorite episodes that we've ever recorded is called What to Do When You're New or Slow.
Oh, yeah.
It is so full of ideas. Like if you're trying to get your real estate business going.
Yeah. Jumpstart
Right there. So that would be a good one to go back and listen to right now.
I think so. I've read the list is very long.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to share it. But it was eye-opening to see how many things you could do that still had to do with houses, real estate, business that were not way out in left field, like that still could keep you in the mindset of real estate.
Yeah.
Because that's really the key here. You have to stay in that frame of mind. But we didn't really talk about full-time versus part-time.
No, we didn't.
Is there anything specific you want to say about that?
We had a situation in our market a few years ago where there was a part-time realtor that was also a nurse.
Okay.
And worked 12-hour shifts.
Okay.
And they missed a contract that came in while they were on their shift.
Okay.
And it expired.
Okay.
And they called their seller and delivered it. And then when they called them back, they had moved on.
Yeah.
And the sellers sued their agent because the house had been on the market for a minute.
Oh, no.
And the buyers just thought, well, I guess they're not interested. No wonder they've been on the market so long. And so I think that the reason that it's important to be part-time important to be full-time goes back to, are we conducting ourselves in a professional manner?
Yeah.
Are you available to handle the deadlines that the industry has to offer? Because we always say our goal is to bring professionalism back to the realtor brand. We deserve respect in our industry and respect for but if we're not conducting ourselves in a business way.
Well, it seems like you're not taking your business seriously.
Yeah.
So why should anyone else?
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that I think sometimes part-time agents, I can understand why they get a little defensive. Like until you have the money and the income, if you need the money, you just can't. Not everyone has the ability to just jump into it, right?
Sure.
So it is a tricky time to navigate, but you better make all of your clients and the other agents that you're working with, if you're part-time, feel like this is your primary focus.
Yes, they don't need to know.
Right. Oh, I can't. Because a lot of times what I find is the ones that I've encountered in transactions, they seem annoyed that I need things.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I cannot do that until after 5. Like,
right.
I have a job. And I'm like, this is
my job.
This is mine. So you're slowing me down. And
Yeah.
I don't want to communicate about this after 5.
Right, when you're with your family.
No, thank you. This is a career, this is a real business. Should be your focus. I don't think it's wise for anyone to go into real estate saying, I'm going to be part-time forever.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, the goal should be to get there
right, the goal
full-time.
should be, yes, I have to be part-time, or maybe I have to do a side hustle, or maybe I need to do these other things. But my goal and my desire is to be a professional full-time agent.
Yes.
That would be my hope for everyone.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of people they dabble. Real estate is not a place to dabble.
There's big money being exchanged.
There's just so many legal ramifications.
So many.
I don't think that people who want to dabble realize that they could be sued if they do it wrong.
Right.
Oh,
There's a
no,
lot of
that never
liability.
happens.
Yes. And I think the reason people feel like they can dabble is because it is so easy to get your license.
Yeah.
So if you want to get your license in a few weeks
You
and
could do it.
dabble, but what we see happening is they dabble, they make a mess, and then they leave the
Right,
industry. And then
leave
we're
us.
here picking up the pieces being like,
Uh-huh.
no, we are credible people.
Right. I take this very seriously.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Joe
sorry.
Smith did not take
Right.
it very seriously.
Right.
I know it's a lot to navigate. I do think there's a time and place to be part-time, and hopefully the goal is always to be full-time. And then no matter if you're part-time or full-time, the goal would be to treat it like a business.
Correct.
So that has to it requires some of your focus.
And if you're wondering why you're not at a certain level, you have to ask yourself, how am I spending my time? Am I networking? Do I have my database up to date? Am I working the database? Am I being intentional with how I'm reaching out to people? Go listen to What to Do When You're New or Slow. I feel like I could give all the advice
Yeah,
on
that's the one.
how to get started, but
Right.
there's so much that you could do.
Yeah, I don't want people to get discouraged. I know this is a difficult time. If you're new and you're like, wait a minute, this is hard. Not that it was going to be easy. Well, first of all, no, it was never going to be
Mm-mm.
easy. But markets do shift and change. And I promise you, there are a lot of agents that got in 21 and 22 who were like, well, this is easy.
Right.
Business is just coming to me.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's buying a house. Everyone's selling a house. Everything's fine. Now it's like crickets.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we just got to like tread water
Yeah.
till it changes.
Mm-hmm.
But stay focused. Get yourself a side hustle if you need. But remember, your main focus is always being a real estate
Don't get
agent.
distracted with all the little things.
No. Okay. Anything else on the side hustle front?
That's all I got.
Okay, great. One of the ones I saw that I didn't really get was real estate investment. I'm like, if you're light on cash, I
Right.
don't know how this is going to work. But
Mhm.
I think they were like, start out as a wholesaler or buy a partial stake in a flip or a long-term investment property. Again, these all need money except for maybe wholesaling, which no thanks.
Yeah, I know. That's a lot.
But it is a way to do
Yeah.
something.
There were some hustles mentioned that required you to be financially wealthy.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I don't get it.
Well, then I went,
Why do
yeah.
I need this? Just because I'm bored?
Right.
Maybe I guess that's for people who are side hustling out of boredom. I don't know. Okay, that's it. Are you ready for a toast?
Yeah, don't let your side hustle become your side hassle.
That's right. I love that one.
Hassle.
Okay. Today's toast comes to us from Caitlin Cohen in Wilmington, Delaware.
Huh.
I don't know that we've ever had a listener in Delaware.
Delaware. That's fun.
I know. She wants to toast to the Rosio team, particularly Amber Garnevsky. I met Amber a year and a half ago at our daughter's gymnastic class.
Aw.
Love those. I started studying for my license and immediately knew she was someone I wanted to work with and learn from. From her positive attitude and charismatic personality to her demonstrated success in the industry, she made real estate seem less intimidating. She introduced me to Kristen how did I say? Rosario. Oh, I'm sorry. Rosario. Okay. And her team as I was getting ready to take my test a few months ago, and it was not a hard decision to join them. The team is going through some big changes and shifting direction with our brokerage, and between these changes and the shifting market, I am so grateful to these ladies and the rest of the team for their guidance. They handle everything with such grace and confidence, which eases my mind as a new agent.
Love it.
I love that. So thank you so much to Caitlin.
Mhm.
Cheers to Amber and the entire Rosario team.
Love that.
Love it.
Cheers,
Okay.
everyone.
Cheers, everyone.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Hustle Humbly podcast.
If you enjoyed this episode, please go to ratethispodcast.com/hustlehumbly and leave us a review or drop a comment if you're listening on Spotify.
If you have an episode topic or someone you'd like to toast on the show, please email us at team@hustlehumblypodcast.com.
Find us on social media at Hustle Humbly Podcast. Don't forget to find all of the free resources at hustlehumblypodcast.com/resources.
See you next week.
This is the good life.